Hey everybody, this is Starjump Grim. Let me know how I sound. I'm using a new microphone tonight, hopefully trying to improve the audio quality. Let me know if I sound good. Do I sound 5 by 5? Does the quality sound good? A little bit of a review, if you would, for those of you in chat would be great. Appreciate it. This is a new microphone. We're going to give it a try tonight, see how it goes. Probably just asking for an issue, but yeah. All right. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Let me know if I'm coming in okay. I'm obviously using a new microphone. You can see it here. I'm not wearing the headphones, so I am curious on how the quality is. I've had some feedback over the last few months about the audio quality of the stream, so I thought I had the mic. Let's get it working, and we'll see how it functions. My previous issues with the microphone were based off some USB I/O stuff, but it looks like that is cleared up. So hopefully this will help moving forward. It'll be slightly less microphonic. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, nice to see everyone in chat. I'm kind of running a little bit of a different setup here. Yeah, Duran, no headphones, no headphones. I'm running a little bit differently tonight. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting show. And who do we all have in chat here? Let me see. We got Art. Art is hanging out. I also have something to say about Art here in just a minute. Let's see who else we got. We got a bunch of our usual faces: Truther, Citizen Ninja, Crisis, Ryan, Hudson Hawk, of course, Marco Polo. Uh, let's see, Vasily, Socially Confused, Def. There's Starjump Ender. Hey, Ender, hope you're doing well. Hey, brother, shot you a message on Discord. Oh, okay, cool. I will check it out. I will check that out in just a bit. All kinds of people: Itu Kairu, Sandgroper, Truther, everyone piling in. Nice to see everybody. Obviously, I didn't call out every single name, but you all know I appreciate you being here and hanging out tonight. Holy shit, Grim has ears. I do. So thanks. I do have ears. There they are. They're kind of large, I guess, but there we are. Yeah, hopefully the not wearing the headphones too will also just help with stream fatigue. Not that I stream very long, but you know, we got a few things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about CitizenCon Direct. We're going to talk about today's. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about today's tech talk with Benoit. We're going to talk about probably a little bit of medical. Looks like the Apollo is finally coming to the PTU tomorrow. We're going to talk about just random stuff. It's going to be a day where you can all ask questions and I will see or I will try to answer them. Now, the first question I'm going to ask, the very first question I'm going to answer is Socially Confused. Socially Confused says, question, does the bot work? It's a great question. No, it does not work. It actually does work, but I don't have it installed. I did talk to Piggles today. I have all the stuff for the bot. I just don't have the bot. So I've got to get that from him. He unfortunately went to bed, so I'll get it for the next stream. So I'm going to be having to sort of do this randomly. So if you do have a question to ask, put it in brackets. I'm going to copy and paste it on a little notepad here, and I'll answer it. We'll get to it. But we're going to talk just random AMA stuff, questions, try to answer them, give you my opinion on stuff. And of course, we have a giveaway tonight. So let's go ahead and get to that. Now, I got two communities going here. Obviously, we have our Twitch community, got 23 piling in there, and the YouTube community up to 43 piling in. I'll go ahead and tell you how it's going to work. If you're over on YouTube, actually, first, before we do that, let's go ahead and bring up what we're giving away because we need to start properly here. Let me switch over. Okay, what are we giving away tonight? We're giving away, this is our Pirate Week game package giveaway. Okay, this will be an Avenger Titan with the new pirate themed Skull Crusher paint and a Star Citizen game package. This is courtesy of CIG. CIG, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I was recently opened up to certain avenues that will allow me to do more giveaways for you all. I guess I hit certain metrics and some new avenues opened up. So that's what we're giving away tonight in celebration of Pirate Week. We'll give that away tonight. Obviously, there's no cost to entry on this. If you're over on YouTube, you will see a link pinned to the top of chat. All you need to do is go to that link. It's it's my Drake cinematic remaster video. All you got to do is leave a comment there saying hi, hello, Pirate Week, avast ye matey, whatever you want to put, and we will draw a winner from YouTube. And then on Twitch, if you are over on Twitch, I am starting a giveaway now. All you got to do is do exclamation ticket to get your free ticket. Exclamation ticket will get you a ticket to entry for this giveaway. I'm going to take the winner from YouTube, the winner from Twitch, and I will put them in the random wheel of names, and we'll spin it, and whoever wins will be our winner of the game package. Okay. And again, it's an Avenger Titan with the Skull Crusher pirate paint, really cool paint, and a Star Citizen game package. So Actually, I've had my criticisms of this paint in the past. I know some of you have heard those criticisms before. However, the funny thing is the ship that it looks best on is the Avengers. Um, so it is the best looking ship with the pirate paint. The one that I wish they would have done a little differently is the Corsair. On the Corsair, I wish the skull was on the big wing. But anyways, I see your comments coming in now. So thank you very much. We'll pull those winners here later today. And again, big thanks to CIG for doing sending this over so I can do this giveaway and hopefully many more in the future, especially leading up to CitizenCon, which is the next thing we're going to talk about, which is this right here. Some of you may have seen this posted on the Twitter. If you've got questions about this, uh, that's an insult. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Also, Sandgroper, I think, was congratulating me on something. Thank you very much, Sandgroper. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you very much. So Starjump, CitizenCon Direct, Virtual Watch Party. I had a few people send me messages asking if Starjump was doing anything for CitizenCon Direct, if we were doing a physical, like in-person watch party or something. Unfortunately, no. We've got kind of people scattered across the globe. We've got VMXEO in one place. We've got Starjump Ender in another place. Starlet is on the other side of the world. I'm in a different place. And not only that, but all of us are kind of dealing with different things right now. Some of us are focused on this. Some of us are focused on other things. And it would just be really difficult to do a in-person watch party. Now, if it was an all-day event, maybe it would be worth it. But since CitizenCon is only 2 hours, it just didn't seem worth it. But when I was thinking about what we could do, I was like, well, at the very least, we could do just a virtual watch party, right? So we get everyone, we get everyone in a Zoom call 30 minutes before it starts. We all chit chat, have a good time, whatever. We then mute, watch CitizenCon Direct, and then afterwards we spend an hour or 2 hours discussing things and our thoughts on it and all that kind of good stuff. I don't know what else is going to happen. I'm sure we'll have some giveaways, possibly sponsored by CIG, but we just have to kind of wait and see. Okay, it is limited to 100 people though, because that's the Zoom room size. Okay, Hustlebone says, so you got a hookup at CIG and now you like the paint? No, no. I don't like the paint. Pretty clear on that. I do not like the paint on the Corsair. I do not like the paint on the Asgard. Um, on the Avenger and I don't like the paint on the Ursa. It's not that I don't like the paint. I just think they were placed on the ship weird. But on the Avenger, I actually like the placement. It works really well. It's just the other ships it doesn't work. I don't mind black. Black's my favorite color, and I don't mind a giant skull. It's just how it was applied. So, but anyway, I am going to actually, let me grab something real quick here. This is going to be sort of an informal stream tonight, everyone. So, bear with me. We'll see if we can get through it. I'm going to have my hands full, especially since I don't have the bot installed. But anyway, CitizenCon Direct Virtual Watch Party. I don't know what all is happening with this. We may stream it. We may not. Um, I'm going to be there. Hopefully other Starjump members will be there. Maybe Ender will be there. Maybe Starlet, maybe VMXCO. I don't know what all their plans are. I don't really have a set plan for this watch party. I just wanted to kind of put something in the books that people could sign up to. And between now and then, I can figure out what is happening. You know what I mean? It's my daughter's birthday that day too, though. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's still going to happen, but I don't know if it's going to be much more than just all hanging out, chit chatting. That may be all it really is. So anyways, Starjump, CitizenCon Direct, Virtual Watch Party. You do need to RSVP though. If you have not already, then you do need to RSVP. And I'll put that link into chat right now. You do need to RSVP to secure your spot. Again, it's limited. If you think you might not be able to go, don't register, okay? Because, or like if you're a maybe, I would hold off on registering for a little bit, okay? Try to save the spots for the people that can go. If for some magical reason we did get up to 100 people, which I don't think we will, but if for some reason we did, I can probably open it up for more people. It just costs a little bit more money. But anyways, there's that. So we'll talk more about that as we go. Do not forget about the giveaway. If you're on Twitch, exclamation ticket. If you're on YouTube, you're going to go to the link pinned to the top of the chat. You're going to leave a comment on that video. That is the link, and I will pull a random winner from there. I'll pull a random winner from the Stream Elements giveaway on Twitch. You'll both go into the Wheel of Names. The winner will get the game package. Okay, that's how we're going to do it since we are dual streaming. Okay. That being said, going to open it up to a few things tonight. Again, we are doing sort of random Q&A. You can ask questions. I actually thought I was going to open it up for audio, but you know what? I'm not rocking the headphones tonight, so we're just gonna keep it to chat only. Drinking out of my Starjump mug here. We're all branded tonight. So if you have a question, put it in brackets so I can see it. Okay, put it in brackets. Death Roams just subscribed. Death Roams, thank you very much. I appreciate that support. You just sent the Kraken overhead. I salute you. Thank you very much. But yes, just put question in brackets. I will try to copy it and then paste it in my notepad here. So even if I don't answer it right away, I will copy it and we'll get to your question, okay? So we do have some things to discuss tonight. We'll start our discussion off. The first one I'm going to talk about is something we've already been talking a little bit about, okay? I'm going to switch over here. We're going to talk about medical for a brief minute. Now, many of you know I did a stream the other day on Shipyard called Medic, where we talked through all the medical changes. I told you how I feel about them, which was that I feel generally pretty positive about the medical changes. It's sort of restored my faith in where CIG is taking medical, specifically the tiered medical beds. But we did get a bit of news, okay, and then again, these are pictures from inside the Apollo, the Tier 3 setup, Tier 2 setup, Tier 1 setup. But we did get some news, and that news came from an issue council report saying that the Idris medbed, which was a Tier 1, has been replaced by a Tier 2 medbed, okay? And I heard this is possibly the same on the 890 jump. CIG left a comment on this issue council report that says, thanks for the report. While this is valid feedback, we have to close this as it's not a bug. We encourage the discussion to continue on Spectrum. So what does that mean? That means that the Idris and the 890 jumps Tier 1 med beds have been changed to Tier 2 med beds. Okay. And by the way, those of you asking questions in chat, I got a question from Artemis. I got a question from Socially Confused, a question from Vasily. I am copying those. I'm putting them in my pad. I got you. We're going to get to them for sure. But I know that everyone is under the impression that this is a change to sell Apollos. It may very well be. I don't know. I won't white knight that at all. But I think what the real question is this a good change? Like, should capital ships have Tier 1 medical beds? My opinion is yes, they should, especially the military ones like the Aegis Idris, any sort of carrier that carries additional ships and players. I personally think that they should have a Tier 1 bed in them. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people say they were never supposed to have them, as Spicy is saying in chat right now. I've heard other people say that they should have them or they were supposed to have them. I really don't know, but this will be a controversial change. Obviously, it's going to be seen through the lens of losing something and seen through the lens of trying to sell Apollos. I think CIG sometimes would do well by implementing these kind of changes before a sale is about to happen, like much before, like a month before. Like, it would have been better if last month CIG had implemented this change and said, hey, this is a change to counter upcoming medical stuff. It's just with them that when these changes line up to a sales event, a critical eye is always cast upon it, and people start questioning motives. Um, and I think it's a valid argument. I don't know what you all think. I'm seeing a lot of people in chat there talk about it. Again, it's just something that we'll have to see how it plays out ultimately. I just look at a carrier like the Kraken, like the Idris, as a ship that should be equipped to handle the medical needs of the crew and any visiting ships. Or I wish they sold kits or modules that allowed you to upgrade those beds in there. Okay, either sell them in game, sell them out of game, however they want to do it. Okay. Let's get to a few questions. And again, hopefully I haven't missed any questions. Again, you can see in chat here, there's a lot of different opinions on it. I'm seeing people say everything from this is good for medical gameplay. Some people saying this should never have happened. Some people saying that, it was bad timing. I agree with all that. So here we go. We're going, and here's the thing. I think this change, it'll be interesting to see if this change comes with the Carrack. I only heard of the 890 jump in Idris. The Idris one surprised me. I guess the 890 should have as well, but it'll be interesting to see if this change filters down to the Carrack. I don't think it should because the Carrack is a long distance explorer, but we'll see. Let's get to some questions here. We got to catch up on some questions. Artemis TGM says, hi, Grim. Hope you're well. Do you think the Paladin has been tweaked at all, i.e. cargo or upgunned? Well, that's a good question. I will go ahead and pull this up. I know a lot of you saw this posted by Info Runners. This was an image I sent to the Info Runners the other day, or to execute. And it's got the outfit from the CitizenCon Digital Goodies Pack, and it's very clear that this is some sort of flight suit for the Paladin. So I do think the Paladin is coming for CitizenCon. You'll see up here on the helmet, it's 014-51, the same serial number on the side of the Paladin. And then there's these like chevron-shaped stripes, obviously reminiscent here on the stripes on the Paladin. So I think this is a Paladin flight suit included with the CitizenCon goodies, digital goodies. But anyways, do I think the the Paladin has been tweaked at all, cargo upgunned? I don't think it's been upgunned because I think this is such a new concept that they were already sort of planning ahead in terms of its armament and all that stuff. From a cargo perspective, that's always possible because I do think CIG is looking at ways and opportunities to, up the cargo on ships that they're putting out. I mean, I think they're finding creative ways. Generally, it's around cargo ships, but I think in general, CIG is looking for ways to sort of up the cargo capacity of some of its ships. So very well, could be adjusted. Personally, I don't think we're going to see any real adjustments or tweaks to the Paladin versus what the concept was, only because I think the concept is so new that CIG already had a pretty good understanding of where they wanted it to go. Okay. But yeah. Hello, Execute. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. Everyone give Execute a 07 in chat. So yeah, that's that question. We're going to move on to another question here. Socially Confused asks, do you think with the new armor, with the flame decal as part of the Twitch drops, do I think the new armor with the flame decal is part of the Twitch drops? I don't know. I don't know if I've seen that armor. Maybe send it to me. I'm not 100% sure. I've seen some new armor, some like heavy armor. It could be a Twitch drop thing. Thank you, Execute. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm running a new microphone, so hopefully I sound better tonight. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how the Twitch drops thing works. I do hope CIG opens up Twitch drops to anyone who wants to do them for their streams. So essentially some sort of, where you just submit that you want to do Twitch drops and it will let you do it. That's what I hope, at least, so that it's just not a small limited slice of content creators that are doing them. So it's just something to keep in mind. We'll see. But good question. Good question. Vasily says, question, Apollo has room for a NURSA. Well, we don't know how big the Apollo is. So, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. It's possible, but real quick here. Thank you, Execute. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Execute sent me an image here. So you're talking about this image here, socially confused. This could be a Twitch drop. It looks like something like that. I could totally see that being a Twitch drop. We'll see. I don't know. Again, I just hope that they allow the Twitch drop system to work for anybody so that even small streamers, small content creators could sort of get in on the, getting the word out, that organic spread of Star Citizen, instead of it just being the bigger content creators. We'll see how they do that. Let's see what else. We had another question here. Oh yeah, going back to Vasily's question on if the Apollo is has room for the NURSA. I think that links into Citizen Ninja's question here, which was, when will the new enlarged Apollo model get added to Fleet Viewer? I know VMXEO is standing by for the model to game files. So if I had to take a guess, I would think that if it hits the PTU tomorrow, the triage and the medevac, VMXEO will start working on them. A lot of times when new ships hit the game files, though, if we're doing them via StarFab, which is going to kind of become the norm because there's no concept ships anymore, it's going to be it's not always just you do the conversion and it all looks great and everything's good to go. Sometimes VMXEO has to do a lot of manual fixing to the model, bringing over weapons or parts and pieces and stuff. So hopefully it's something VMXEO can get up into me within a day or two. And then I can take those renders, I run them through a conform, and then those conforms are sent to Starlet for Fleet Viewer integration. I want to get them in as soon as possible. I can tell you that once the model does hit the game files, we will be able to measure it in Blender and get a very, very accurate, very accurate measurement of its length. I'll be honest with you though, and I know a lot of people are saying it's 65 meters, 66 meters, 60 meters, all that. I'm going to wait till we know for sure, until I can measure the model, before I do any like scale adjustments in Fleet Viewer. There's several ships like that, by the way. The Crucible, the Genesis Starliner, ships we know that are going to grow. I just haven't bothered because I want to get more, I want to get more specifics on its actual measurement before we go messing with that. So we should find out tomorrow, though. I was hoping it was going to be tonight, but we should find out tomorrow. In relation to that, if the Apollo has grown to, 60-something meters, it's possible that a NURSA could get in there. I don't see CIG doing that. Partially because I think that CIG is going to keep the rear of the ship more for components and an airlock system with a decontamination sort of walkthrough area like the Carrack has. I think there's going to be something more like that. Remember, if they add room for a NURSA, it's not just the room to fit. They need the room to walk around the vehicle, plenty of clearance to get in and out. You need clearance for once you park the vehicle in there, for the doors and ramp of the NURSA to open and still be able to get out. Remember, CIG doesn't keep it super tight. So the actual space you need for the NURSA to fit in there is a little large. And it's not that it can't fit, but the rear of the Apollo does taper in. And we'll have to see. I'd like to be wrong, though. I'd like to be wrong. We'll see. Another question here, and again, if you have questions, please put them in brackets. Remember, I do not have the bot running. I did not get the bot from Pickles before he went to sleep, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Okay. We are going to go to another question here from Sandgroper. Question says, with the new updated referral program, have we seen the end of small bonus ships being added for the time-limited events? So far, we have had about 4 free flies without any small bonus ships and hover bikes. Um, that's a great question. I don't know. I hadn't thought about that up to this point, and now that I think about it, I think that's definitely something that could be the case. That could be something CIG is doing. Obviously, they haven't outright said that, but it's possible. I think that would be a shame if they did that. I think the only thing sometimes with the free fly referral program ship is that they don't have a lot of small ships, so they can't really put a lot of variety in there. What I think they could start doing though is doing whenever these events happen and you do have a free fly, the well, what was it? The referral bonus could be something like whatever the subscriber or the patch bundle is that you know that cycle. So, for example, with the most recent one, the Dark Territories thing, they could have done a referral bonus that got you a free Blossom paint pack and armor set. You know what I mean? There's ways they can get around that. XQ says, Grim, I think the Galaxy is the one that carries the Nursa, so the Apollo won't. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I agree with Execute on that. The Galaxy is really that next step up that gets you to, you know, Nursa ability, being able to put the C8R in there, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that makes sense that the Galaxy is really that next step up. And to be totally honest with you, the Galaxy with the medical module isn't that crazy much more expensive than the Apollo because the Apollo is going to get above, like, especially the medevac, right? So something to consider. I mean, it's more expensive, but it's not like $500 more. Um, so yeah, that's a great question, Sandgroper. I don't know if we know the answer to that right now, but you know, it again, you sort of have to look at these situations and sort of read the tea leaves. And yeah, you could be right. You could be right. Um, don't forget, everyone, we are doing a giveaway right now for let me swing back over. Yep, we are doing a giveaway right now for a Avenger Titan with Skull Crusher paint and Star Citizen game package to celebrate Pirate Week, courtesy of CIG. Thank you very much, CIG. We're giving this away tonight. All you need to do if you're on Twitch is do exclamation ticket. If you are on YouTube, you're going to go to the link pinned to the top of chat. You're going to leave a comment on that video. That is my Drake 4K remaster video. You're going to leave a comment there. We're going to pull one winner from the YouTube, one winner from the Twitch, and we'll put you in the wheel of names. We'll spin it, and then the winner of that gets the Pirate Week giveaway, courtesy of CIG. So there you go. If I win, Starjump Grim has to learn the banjo. I know the banjo a little bit. I can do some rolls on the banjo. I can do some rolls. So, um, all right. So let's go to, you know what? Let's swing over and talk Pirate Week. So Pirate Week started. Feel free to, again, everyone, if you have any questions, feel free to put that in brackets so I can try to catch it. But Pirate Week has officially started. You know, we will have talked about this just not too awful long ago, specifically centered around the paints. We were sort of criticizing the paints. Um, and again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I still feel the same. Robotic Raza, thank you very much for that follow. I appreciate it. Or subscription. Thank you for the subscription, Robotic Raza. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Salute to you. But we were criticizing the paints as feeling maybe a little bit lazy. I still feel that way. But I will say, again, the best paint placement is on the Avenger. That one actually looks pretty good. I think the Corsair was a bit of a missed opportunity. They could have put the skull on the large wing, and I think that would have been cool. I think the Asgard would have looked better if the skull had been a little bit smaller and a little bit more forward. And on the Nursa, I think it just should have been a small decal on there. So that's my criticism of the paints, not fully white knighting it. But luckily, the giveaway is the Avenger, and that one has the most appropriate paint placement. So yes, there's a couple things going on for Pirate Week. Obviously, the pirate paints. Add these to your collections. There's been previous years where there's been pirate paints. And hey, Starjump Ender's in chat. I hope you're doing well, Ender. Ender's been dealing with a lot of stuff lately, everybody. Please give him patience. He's been navigating life. He is a pirate as well, on a ship out in the seas, navigating his way using the stars. So give him some patience. I'm sure he appreciates it. But yes, there are the pirate themed paints. Hit you up on Discord. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll check it. My Discord is like buried right now. Uh, oh, okay. Yes, I see it. Sorry, got it. I have all my alerts on Discord turned off. Not for streaming, just for in general. So I probably need to turn those back on. I see you on there. I will definitely get back to you on that. Sorry for missing that. Yes. So anyway, there are the paints again. You either like them or you don't like them. There is a treasure hunt where they're going to be putting clues out on different different social platforms, Spectrum, newsletters, stuff like that. You look for those clues. You're going to be able to enter the pirate's code and get something. I'm sure at some point this code will just leak out and you'll be able to get it. If I had to guess, like what I think would be cool, because it's going to be something small, right? It's going to be something small. Um, I think it would be cool if it was like a room decoration that's like a skull and crossbones banner or something, or like a torn banner. I think that would be cool. So be on the lookout for that. Again, there is some pirate stuff going on in Arena Commander. Get in there and check that out. There is a couple of creative contests. There is, let's go to the details here on the contest. It is a pirate flag design contest. There's all the rules. You can find that on Spectrum. If you've ever entered these, they're a lot of fun. So check them out. If you're creative in any way, it could be fun to enter this. Or if you're not creative, find something you're creative at. Maybe it's cooking, maybe it's sewing, maybe it's drawing. Who knows? Make a flag. I've seen some pretty crazy stuff win in previous contests that you wouldn't expect would be the winner. So get out there, do something cool. You never know, you might win. And then there you go. There is some limited time packs. Obviously, the Duelist Pirate Week Starter Pack, which is the Avenger pack that will be given away tonight. This one comes with an extra paint, so it's not exactly the same. This one comes with Skull Crusher and the Solar Winds paint, so this one's a little bit different. And then there's the Privateer Pirate Week that comes with the Cutlass Black, and then comes with the Skull and Crossbones paint for the Cuddy, which is really cool, actually. Deathhead's helmet, some armor, the Markanda undersuit. So you can find that there. That's $100. Let's see here. What else we got? We do have the Skull Crusher paints. You can buy all the paints for $96, which is crazy. But I will say that includes all of this year's paints and all of last year's paints, I believe. Right? How many paints are included in this one? Okay, actually, that's a lot of paints. Yeah, so that's like the last 3 years. That's the last 3 years of paints. Then there's the Skull Crusher paint pack, which is this year and last year. And it's a hell of a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot of money for paints. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it. And then you can buy the individuals. Again, the Skull Crusher paint on the Avenger looks pretty good. The one on the Ursa, I don't like at all. The Corsair, it looks fine, but they should have put it on the wing. I think that would have looked better. And then the Asgard looks decent, but I wish they would have made it a little smaller and moved it forward a bit. And then there's some other one. Oh, and then the M50 one, some from last year, the Vulture, Mantis, and Scorpius. Those are from last year. So again, I think they're going to do these giant skull paints every year, and you kind of collect them all if you want. Hey, Guardian, I see Guardian in chat. Everyone, give a Guardian's channel a check to see when you can if you haven't already. He does great content. Then there's the classic pirate paints. These are the ones from before they started doing the Skull Crusher paints. I almost wish they would go back and add the Skull Crusher theme to these just to sort of make it consistent. But yeah, you can buy those individually too. There is, of course, the Pirate Week treasure pack. I'm not sure what's all in this. Some skulls, skull armor, or skull containers, some armor, and 2 sets of armor. And yeah, there you go. Sniper rifle, stuff like that. And then the furniture sets, of course. So yeah, there you go. That is the offerings. From a ship standpoint, um, there is, see, we have the A2 Hercules. Obviously, this is a ship that I think is overpriced. Actually, I'll correct myself. All ships are overpriced, but this ship in particular, I used to think was really overpriced, but seeing where other ships are starting to land, Idris, Polaris, this and that, I'm starting to understand why the A2 does have the $750 price tag. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying I understand why CIG placed it at 750 when you look at some of, where they're putting other ships. That's all I'm saying. Ares Inferno, Ares Ion, we got the Blossom paint packs for these just last or for 4.3, which were pretty cool. Again, I still think there's an Ares variant coming, maybe for CitizenCon, maybe for IAE, but I think we're getting an Ares variant. Asgard, again, this ship has been on sale anyway for Best in Show, but there it is. Oops. Avenger, Warlock, the C2 Hercules, Caterpillar Pirate Edition. If you've wanted a Caterpillar and you want that Pirate Edition, here's your chance to snag one. Corsair, Cuddy Black, obviously quite a few Drake ships, Cutlass Blue, the Eclipse, Gladius, Pirate Edition Gladius as well, M2 Hercules, so all the Hercules series there. I wish they would group these in this scroll wheel together so that you don't accidentally make a rash purchase and, for example, pick up an M2 when you really wanted the C2 or something like that. So I do wish the Hercules were sort of grouped and like similar ships were grouped. I don't know if it's just an error, but it's a little confusing. XQ says, one ship we forgot for variants or rework for this year, Gladiator. Yeah, possibly a Gladiator refresh. I could see that happening this year. That absolutely could be one. It could be that one they talked about moving through the pipeline faster than any other ship for all we know. Who knows? Possible. Zero, hello, hope you're well. Mantis, MSR. It's interesting why the MSR is in here. Maybe because it's got the smuggling area. Is it considered a pirate themed ship? I don't know. Scorpius again. Oh no, these are all ships that have pirate paints. That's right. The MSR does have a pirate paint. Yeah. Scorpius and Antares, Ursa, Vanguard, Vulture. It's kind of a weird selection of pirate ships, I guess, but there you go. And then the 2 Warbond CCU upgrades for the event are the Anvil Asgard and the Crusader M2 Hercules. There you go. There you go. So yeah, Pirate Week going on now. I do want to, again, remind everybody you can bracket some, let's see here. When does the Asgard come out? Asgard's out. Asgard is out. You might be referring to the Paladin. Sometimes I call those the same name too. One second. Asgard obviously out. Paladin is coming, probably for CitizenCon. So yeah, there's been a lot of Anvil ships that have been like, kind of borrowing the same DNA. You know what I mean? The Asgard and the Paladin. I get them kind of mixed up sometimes too. So yeah, Asgard went straight to flyable. When was it last? Was that Invictus? I think it was Invictus. And then Paladin obviously coming for probably CitizenCon. We have, as I was pointing out earlier, this flight suit, which is part of the CitizenCon digital goodies pack for this year, is very clearly a Paladin flight suit that you'll be getting with the, I hope everyone that owns a Paladin gets one of these, to be totally honest with you. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, the 01451 is on the Paladin, on the helmet. You have the white chevrons there. The chevrons represented here. So again, that flight suit. You know, I don't know what you all think, but I really hope in the future they start doing more um, armor sets and sort of flight suits based off ships and or manufacturers. I really do. That's something actually I've been saying for a long time. I would love, for example, for there to be a Drake flight suit, an Anvil flight suit, an RSI flight suit, all that. And maybe they have some. Maybe there's an RSI one. I can't remember. But, you know, I do wish there were more manufacturer themed suits or suits built around matching and syncing with certain ships that are coming out. To me, it's a very easy win. Hell, I think you could even be lazy with it and just take an existing armor and do a paint theme on it to celebrate the release of a ship. I don't want them to go that way, but you know, I would like it to be more unique like this, but I still think you could do it. You know, VMXEO slides in the chat. VM, hope you are doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Um, but yeah, I did want to swing back again. Don't forget you can throw questions into chat if you want. But I did want to swing back to this ship here and talk about this a little longer. Again, the Apollo series supposed to be hitting the PTU tomorrow, according to Jared and Xylo. By the way, shout out to Xylo. Um, Maybe he was one helping me out recently. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, um, Apollo series probably coming to the PTU tomorrow, both triage and medevac. It'll be interesting to see what those look like finally, how they've scaled up. I know a lot of people were excited about them. I'll tell you right now, I had gone into the game. As a matter of fact, where did I thought I put that. Stand by, everybody. Do I not have that image anymore? I guess I don't. I did go into the game and actually let me pull that image up. I know you all have seen this, but I'll pull it up regardless. I did go into the game and PTU and tried out the new medical gel packs, which you have to put into the digital medical assistants now to give you your respawn and healing abilities. I bought a whole bunch of them. I spawned a bunch of medical ships. I put them all of them to see if they would work. I could get them to go in some of the Idris beds. I could get them to go into the Polaris DMAs and the Carrack. I didn't try anything else, but I assume ships like the CAR and stuff have that too. But I will say, I really do think that the changes to medical that they are making has sort of re-excited me about medical gameplay in general. I was really kind of down on it. I didn't like a lot of the changes they've made over the last little bit, but I'm pretty excited about it now. I think they are adding enough nuance and you know, interesting differences between the different tiers to make it feel like a game, make it feel interesting, and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, anyways, those are the those are the medical gel packets. They're pretty big, as you can see, but you can fit quite a few of them in the backpack. I think they take up like 5% of like a standard backpack, 5% of space each. But yeah, medical's changing in a big way. Coming with 4.3.1, coming with the Apollo. And you really get the feeling that more changes are coming even beyond this. It does look like something CIG wants to do. VMXEO says, I hope we get a way to craft the gel packs. I do too. I don't know if that should. I'm to be honest with you, I'm sure in crafting, when crafting comes online, we're going to get that. We're going to get that. Guardian says, I have 4 of each modules. Yeah, so real quick, I do have some questions. We are going to get to those. I will say that if you own an Apollo, you should have on your in your hangar now where your Apollo is, you should have the modules in there now. And you should technically have 6. You should have an Apollo Tier 1 module left, an Apollo Tier module or Tier 1 module right, so the left and right version of the Tier 1 module. You should have left and right version of the Tier 2 module, and a left and right version of the Tier 3 module. Those should be in your hangar. If not, stand by. There's still time for them, CIG, to get them out there. There is some issue going on because you can see here, I got a lot more than just one set. I think I got 2 sets of the modules. Quinn, yeah, that's a lot of us. A lot of us got double modules. So I think they'll correct this. Just bear with them. Obviously, there was some sort of entitlement, hangar entitlement issue. But if you do own an Apollo, if that is currently in your hangar, in your account, you can go there and check. You should have the updated modules there. So let's go into, I've got a couple more questions here. Hopefully I haven't missed any, but have a few more here. First one's from Fenrir. Sorry if this is off topic, but what do you think the next ship with modularity will be to come out? With the Apollo, is it a good sign for other modular ships? Yeah, I mean, I'm really split on this. If we're just going by CIG's cadence, I would say I don't think we're going to get a new modular ship for a while, right? Because the first one we got was a Retaliator into the game, and only now are we getting the Apollo. So it's been quite a while. It's not like they were just pumping out more modular ships. Um, I think they're still just tackling the modules as they get to a specific ship. It's not like the modules are now doable, so they're going back to all the ships with modules and finishing them out. That's not how they're approaching it. I do see a lot of people saying Galaxy next. I'm not convinced of that. I used to be. I did think the Galaxy was sort of the next ship that they were going to focus on from the RSI line. But I do have some doubts about that. And again, everyone, let me know if my mic is coming in too hot. Again, I'm using a new mic tonight. I know at one time CIG wanted to do the Galaxy after the Perseus, but I don't know. Based off just stuff I've kind of picked apart, not any sort of inside information or anything, just stuff I've picked apart. Um, I think that they are going to pause on RSI a bit. I'm sort of starting to think they are going to focus on the Ironclad. They're going to like dump a lot of focus onto that ship for development, especially big ships. I think we are going to see a focus on the Starlancer build and all the base building ships, actually. Um, I think we're going to see again a renewed push. I mean, they're already pushing on it, but I think you got people on the Pioneer. I think the Pioneer's development's going to pick up where they've had a lot of white box work done and some concept work done. I think it's going to start to like move forward a little bit. We know we know other ships are going into development, like the Hull B, the Drake Kraken, right? So I think CIG's got enough going on in regards to ship development that they probably, if I had to guess, are going to pause on the Galaxy. And for a couple reasons. They haven't gotten any work on ship-based refinery gameplay going on yet. Like, that's not a thing yet. We do have station-based, but we don't have ship-based. I don't know if there's any real differences. But a lot of people seem to think that the Galaxy is going to come out with, you know, refinery gameplay, or specifically come out in regards, or specifically come out, because medical's in now, it can do medical. But what I think the Galaxy is going to be focused around crafting. Oh, by the way, someone asked what mic did I get? I've got the Elgato Stream mic, whatever the Elgato mic is. I don't know the name of it. The Wave X, I got that, and the Wave XLR. I've had them for a while, just never used them. I was lazy. I think we're good. I think they're going to wait on the RSI Galaxy until crafting is coming out, and even then, the Galaxy would probably come a little bit after. And the reason is we are going to need refinery ships to plug into crafting because we're going to need to refine stuff for crafting and base building. Yes, we can do that at the stations, but if you go back to some of CIG's comments at CitizenCon surrounding base building, one of the things they said is they want you to be able to do some level of the base building and crafting on site without having to go all the way back to LZs. So I think they do want to get refinery gameplay in, or at least at some level, probably not at Galaxy level, but maybe at Expanse level. They want to get that in sometime around the launch of crafting and base building, which I think will be next year. So yeah, I think that's a little bit of a tangent. I think the Galaxy might still be the next modular ship. I just don't think it's the next ship in development from RSI. I think they're going to pause on RSI ships. Okay, so that's Fenrir's question, but I think it's a good sign, Fenrir, for modular ships that they're doing this with the Apollo. I think the better sign is that they gave us all the modules for free. So everyone got all the modules for free, and let's all be pretty honest with ourselves here. CIG could have sold them, but they didn't. It's very easy to criticize CIG sometimes for certain decisions that are made, but I think we also need to highlight when CIG does makes a decision that is the opposite of gross monetization. You know what I mean? Giving the modules with the Apollo and and not selling them was an awesome move by CIG, and I applaud them for it. Next question from Cosmic Turtle. Do you think the center area shown in the picture of the Apollo is accurate to the ship as it is now? It looks like a cargo area. No, yeah, I saw that. To me, it is interesting. I'm not exactly sure what we're seeing and how we're seeing it. It does sort of look like a cargo area. Maybe they've added an elevator at the bottom of the Apollo. The only reason I doubt that is I don't think the Apollo sits high enough to drive an Ursa under, but I could be wrong. The Apollo's gotten so big now that maybe it does sit high enough. But yeah, maybe an Ursa fits right in there. It would be right in the center line of the ship. But that may not affect things because the two medical wings are on either side. So honestly, who knows? Maybe there is a Nursa fitting in there. I didn't really notice that. I thought it was just the center line hallway that they have. But you're right. This does sort of look like a little bit like a cargo area. That would be really interesting. I don't know what anyone thinks. Again, it's a little hard to know how much space we're working with inside the Apollo because we don't have an accurate understanding of its size, you know. I really wish the Apollo would have landed tonight. I would have loved to talk about it tonight and show it on stream. Obviously that did not happen. It'll come out tomorrow. But you all will be able to check it out if you're a current owner. You'll be able to sign into the PTU tomorrow and check it out according to CIG. So all those mysteries are about to be solved. I think that also guarantees that next week we'll get a behind the ships on the Apollo. Pretty positive on that one. We'll get something on the Apollo next week. Guardian says, would it be cool? Agree with others, take it away from the Galaxy. Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll get some much clearer information tomorrow once we finally have it in our hands, and then obviously next week when we get some sort of behind the ships or something on the Apollo. But that's a great question, Cosmic. Socially Confused asks, question, do you think there is a need for 2 Apollo variants? I don't see a large enough difference to justify it. Well, so the differences between them, just for those that were unsure, is the triage, which is the red one, is faster, has less armor, and half the missiles. The medevac, which is the one you're seeing here, is the more armored variant. So it's got, well, and it said superior armor is how it's listed. Superior armor. Um, Double the missile capacity, and is obviously slower, a little slower because of the armor. Um, the this is a tricky. I mean, obviously, this is all up to everyone individually. Um, it, I personally, I think to give them enough of a differentiation, um, to where the triage doesn't feel like a step down, is I think the triage, it's fine for it to be a little cheaper. It's fine for it to be faster, because it has the less armor, has the less missiles, all that. But I do think CIG should make the triage like a enough faster enough as compared to the medevac that it feels worth it. The speed, I think, needs to be a selling point for the triage, not just an not just a residual effect of it having less armor. You know what I mean? I think there's a really cool opportunity here for CIG to sort of prop the triage version up as like the fast in and out medical ship, and and attract the people looking for that versus, you know, what makes the medevac stand out, which is the things it has that the triage doesn't. So yeah, no, that's my thinking. Rabbit07, if you are on YouTube and you want to get on the giveaway, all you need to do is go to the link pinned to the top of chat. That is a link to my Drake Interplanetary Cinematic, the remastered one. Leave a comment there. I will pull a random comment from YouTube, and I will pull a winner from Twitch. I will put both of your names in a wheel of names. We will spin it, and whoever wins that spin will get this Pirate Week giveaway, Avenger Titan with Skull Crusher paint and Star Citizen game package. So there you go. There you go. So yeah, that's how you get in on it. That's how you get in on it. Execute. I do see your message. Yeah, I do have an Apollo medevac, so I will be able to check that out tomorrow, but it will be nice to be able to check out the triage as well. That will be kind of nice. One more question here. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in chat. Just do a bracket question so I can see them. That would be nice. Question, I forgot to grab who asked this question. I do apologize. I do apologize. Question is, will the Caterpillar get its modules before the Cuddy Black gets a toilet? It's a damn good question. The answer is, it's a good question. The answer is probably not. I think the Cuddy will get a toilet before the Caterpillar gets modules. I think that has a lot to do with them. It's not that the Caterpillar even needs modules. The issue with the Caterpillar is that the Caterpillar needs rethinking. So it's not as simple as just going back and adding modules to the Caterpillar, unfortunately. What they're going to need to do with the the Caterpillar is sort of rethink how cargo's loaded into it, how the doors work, how the modularity is going to work. And CIG has sort of alluded to the fact that the Caterpillar needs a bit of a, it needs a bit of a, not a reconcepting pass, but I guess you would say something more akin to, oops, one second, everybody. Something more akin to a bit of a rethink on the future of the Caterpillar. That may include sort of a reconcept past. It may just mean, hell, I'll be honest with you. I could totally see CIG just totally changing the form factor of, the Caterpillar, just in general. just in general, like not the form factor of the ship necessarily, but how the modules fit in. I think it's got 4 module bays now. Hell, I could see them switching that up to 2 larger ones so that it supports 32 SCU crates, right? To where you just take 2 modules and join them together, create one bigger door. Hell, I'd almost prefer that. I don't know how you all feel, but I would almost prefer that. Um, so yeah. Real quick here, I'm gonna throw my headphones on for a second. May have someone that wants to ask something here. Stand by. All right, let's see here. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. Stand by. Uh, let's see. All right, we're bringing Arturius into chat. Maybe Art has something to say. Art, hello. How you doing?
Oh, buddy.
Um, you said you're in chat, so I had a feeling that maybe you have something to say. You have an opinion on something.
I have lots of opinions.
Let's hear your opinion. What are we talking about? What's your opinion for today?
Well, I think the one of the things I'd like to see with the Caterpillar would be, instead of how they've done their elevators at the door where the door folds down and then the elevator lowers, it would be nice to see the elevator, that lower tray, even fold down, and you could put the cargo on that, set it up, and it will set it inside for you.
So
Because
yeah, yeah. Essentially
because
like
it,
sort of like a freight elevator, but it's
yeah,
just essentially the built-in door. Yeah. I mean,
because this event we just had, I mean, all of the issue, you going in and some of the cargo you're pulling out of these caterpillars, it was infuriating
yeah, yeah.
to pull cargo out of it.
Part of me, I know VMXEO. I think you may be in chat. I don't know if you want to hop in chat as well, but I know VMXEO had tried some of the cargo missions centered around the Caterpillar for Race to Stanton, and it was that situation where the Caterpillar was such a pain in the ass to deal with from a cargo perspective that you would pick up the mission, drop it, pick up the mission, drop it, because you just wanted to get the C2 mission. You know what I mean? And that's kind of frustrating. I know that's gotta be frustrating for Caterpillar owners, people that love the ship. No one likes when their ship is in just a really, really bad place, right? The Reclaimer's another ship. I love the Reclaimer, but my god, it needs some work. But the great thing about the Caterpillar is I think there's a lot of things you could do to it to fix it. Um, your suggestion, I think, is a good one. I would counter that and say that, let's say I was CIG and I was looking for a solution that was sort of a low barrier to entry, right? So a change that is in line with other ships and how CIG typically does cargo ships. What I think they would need to do is essentially 2 options. One is to do it very similar to how the what you call it, the Starlancer Max is done, right? Where you have this area, there on the bottom of the ship that you load cargo into, and that would require, unfortunately, with the Caterpillar being as high as it is, that would require some sort of freight elevator thing moving down, sort of like you were saying. You put the cargo on that, and then that raises up either into the module directly from underneath the ship, or if it is on the side of the ship, it lifts up and then slides over, and then a door closes. And the reason that slide over is important is because you would have to rig that lift, let's call it a lift for lack of a better term right now, that lift would not be able to do any rotations because then your cargo grid is rotating. I think they would want it, knowing CIG, they would want it to lift the cargo and then slide into the module. Does that make sense? And I think you could
Yeah,
do that.
absolutely.
I think you could do that.
Yeah.
Now, another thing they could do, here's another option. Now, I don't think people would like this because it changes the caterpillar's look and feel. Um, so another option, and to me, this is sort of the classic option, would be the doors that are on the Caterpillar modules now, totally get rid of those. So it wouldn't have those doors anymore. And what it instead would have is a door that folds down and slides down and essentially turns into ramps that come out the side. Those ramps going all the way to the floor. So essentially, much like, and they would be side loading ramps, much the same as the Polaris's cargo ramp. It would just have 4 of them that can come down on either side, right? Mr. Photog, I just said that wrong because I can't speak. Mr. Photog just rated the channel with 56 viewers. Mr. Photog, thank you very much. You just sent the Kraken flying over our head. Amazing choice. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Thank you for sending your viewers over. Also appreciate that. I hope you had a great stream and you guys all enjoyed your time. Real quick to all of you coming over, Mr. Photog's channel, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We are doing a giveaway for a Pirate Week giveaway for an Avenger Titan with Skull Crusher paint and a Star Citizen game package, courtesy of CIG. Thank you very much, CIG. To get in on that, if you are on Twitch, all you have to do is do !ticket, and you'll get a free ticket to the giveaway. If you're on YouTube, do not forget, I have a link pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. You're just going to click on that link, leave a message on that video. That is my Drake cinematic remaster. Just leave a comment on there. I'm going to pull a winner from YouTube. I'm going to pull a winner from Twitch. I'm going to put you in the wheel of names. We're going to spin it. Whoever wins gets the Pirate Week giveaway, courtesy of CIG. So there you go. Back to the Caterpillar, though. I have an image of the Apollo up, but we're talking about the Caterpillar. By the way, Mr. Potog, again, thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate it. Salute to you. I hope you had a great evening and a great stream. Everyone, make sure you give Mr. Photog a little bit of love. I will do a shout out here. See if I remember how to do a show. No. Let's see here. Do I know how to do one? Is it going to work? There it is. I just did a shout out to you, Mr. Photog. Hope you have a great evening. Yeah, going back to what we were talking about, though, Art, is I think the Caterpillar could have some sort of thing where those doors open up, ramps slide down, you manually enter the ship like that. Again, I do think it would change the vibe of the ship, but if I was looking for like an easy solve, that would be it. That would be it. The door, and in that regard, the doors could be pretty similar to the Polaris's doors, right? Where you either have doors that open and unfold and turn into the ramp, or you can do it like the Polaris where the doors open and the ramps are inside the floor of the ship. They slide out and move down. So you could do it a number of different ways. So, what else are anything else going on in Star Citizen right now that has caught your attention?
The Hammerhead rework is interesting that they talked about. They're going to go back and revisit the Hammerhead.
Yeah. The Hammerhead rework. There was a couple of things with that. We talked a little bit about that on the last stream, which was sort of centered around if the Hammerhead should get a medical bed. And then I talked a little bit about the Perseus in the same vein. You know, if the Hammerhead gets one, should the Perseus have one? Obviously, I think one of the reworks they're doing on the Hammerhead, and this was a bit surprising to me. I don't know how you feel about it. Originally, back when they were doing resource management and engineering, this is going back like 2 years ago, they talked about how the Hammerhead would be the first ship with engineering gameplay implemented. And with that, 100%, I assume that meant that the Hammerhead was already probably getting its components integrated, physicalized components, and all that good stuff. The way John Cruz said it in that Ship Showdown video, though, was that that work is about to start. That surprised me a little bit because, again, we had seen mock-ups of the Hammerhead being used for early resource management and networking, you know, the room system network stuff. So that was a little bit surprising. It almost makes me wonder if the Hammerhead rework they're doing isn't to not only do that, but possibly to do other bigger changes. So I guess my question to you is what do you think those changes would be? Or what do you hope they are?
Well, first of all, I hope for better shields across the board because that thing the thing definitely. I was looking at it, and I think I compared it between, obviously the Polaris is a much bigger ship,
Hmm.
but the with it being kind of that sub capital escort class, um, the difference in shield health, we'll even talk about the health of the actual hull and stuff, was just astronomically different. That I feel like something with its purpose is to keep fighters away and to put on pressure,
Yeah.
that with the health pool that it has currently and skilled enough pilots, you can set back and totally just you can nuke that thing from a distance and not be worried at all.
Right.
And I
Right.
and I think it needs better reach. I think it should be able to outreach light fighters,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely be more of a threat when you see this thing come in versus just, oh, I'm going to keep my distance, throw enough
Yeah.
rounds at it, and then let's just let it's going to implode.
Yeah. Real quick, everyone, in chat, B. Harrod, hopefully I'm saying that right. B. Harrod on YouTube said he made a video on his channel about a hidden room he found on the Hammerhead. If you want to go check that out and give his channel a like and subscribe, make sure you do that. Support other people. There's his channel. I just put the link in chat. Make sure you go over to his channel, give it a like and subscribe. Watch the video. It says here, the title of the video is The Aegis Hammerhead Secret Room Almost No One Has Ever Seen. So go check that out. I'm not going to show it on here because I'd rather people watch it on your channel so that you can get the views and get the traction for it. Um, so there you go. Everyone go check that out. I personally, thinking about the Hammerhead, I would say this. I do I would like a couple changes. So we have the 4 quad size 4 guns, right? On the little winglets. I would prefer the top turret to be upgunned to a size 5. Either I think that's a dual or quad size 5, whatever it is. I think that upgrade would be cool. I think better shields would be cool. I personally think the Hammerhead should receive um, some PDCs. Does it have PDCs yet? Did they do that yet?
No, it don't have any.
Okay, it needs some PDCs. I don't think it needs a ton, but it needs some. I think it needs some form of medical room, even if it's just tier 3 bed. Um, I'd actually circle this back to you, which was this conversation on the medical rooms, in that note that we just saw. I'll bring it up again here, so everyone can see this one here, which was that the Idris med bed, the 890 jump med bed, the tier 1 med beds were being changed to tier 2. And that is something CAG is now confirmed as of today. Um, with this in mind, what do you think about larger military ships having at least some medbed um, capacity? Do you think the Hammerhead needs that, or do you think it's okay
Yeah,
that it doesn't?
yeah, no, I definitely think that a tier 3. I don't think it needs a tier 2.
Mhm.
Because again, this is one of these vessels that is more of an escort ship. I would plan on it being, shadowing a Polaris or an Idris or some other larger capacity ship
Yeah,
in a generalized sense. So, if you needed something more, that would give you the opportunity to, use your medical ship or use a transport ship and transport the guy over to the other one to get better healthcare if necessary.
yeah,
Um, the when it comes to medical beds on military ships, I mean, uh, our U.S. Navy vessels all have some form of medical on them.
right.
Even if down to the smallest little patrol boat has a medic kit on there,
Yeah,
and a substantial medical kit. So I really think that the downgrading of the tier 1 to a tier 2, I agree with you. I think it's a mistake.
yeah,
I do think it needs to have one, especially since we don't have a larger capital class medical ship available.
mhm,
If we had something like that, then okay, sure, let's give it a reason to have it in the fleet. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, otherwise you're just stuck,
yeah.
heading back home.
Mr.
That's your
Photog, thank
repair.
you again, buddy. Go get some rest. Thank you for that raid. I appreciate it. I will give you another shout out probably tomorrow. I do appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for that raid. Yeah, I agree with you on that art. I mean, I think it's just almost a little silly for any ship servicing a crew above a certain size should not have that capability. I think it was someone in one of my chats recently said they thought that any ship with a crew of 5 or over should at least have a tier 3, and I think I kind of agree with that. I think I think ships with a crew capacity of maybe 5 or 6 and up should have some medical capabilities. Now, here's another thing. Now, there's a couple people in chat. Again, sorry if I've missed any questions, everybody. If you have a question, though, you want us to ruminate on, feel free to put it in brackets. But if um, that change on the Idris, let's just focus on the Idris for a minute because it's a large military ship, very large military ship. The change with the Idris medical bed from tier 1 to tier 2, two things could happen there. Well, three things technically could happen. One, they could always switch that back to a tier 1. That that could happen. Maybe they're doing this just to sell Apollos. I mean, personally, I think if they Hustle, I got your question, buddy. I wrote it down. I'm definitely going to get to that. Thank you. I mean, it it could just be to sell more Apollos, but I feel like if they were going to do that, why not just sell all the module variants for the Apollo? You know what I mean? It's sort of a weird monetization argument, but I get it. I get why people think that way. Um, so they could revert it after the Apollo sale's done or sometime afterward back to tier 1 on the Idris. They also could we know that they're bringing upgrade paths or some level of customability to bespoke weapons. Could they do that in the future with medical beds where if you have a tier 2 medical bed, you can upgrade it to a tier 1 with a pretty big hit to your power resources or maybe some other things, so there's sort of a trade-off? That's possible. I mean, I don't think CIG's talked about anything like that, but it's not impossible. And then the third thing is, the third thing is, you know, I had a third point and I've lost it. Okay, it's just the 2 for now then. There either way though, the third one is just they leave it how it is, and that is and sort of that is the new thinking with CIG on regards to, uh, you know medical. So we've seen these adjustments before. I will say again, the medical changes they've been showing, I've been very much in agreement with. I do like them. Orpha Vids on YouTube says, "Hey, saw you IG the other day. Somebody was singing your praises, so I thought I'd come check out the stream." Oh, awesome. Well, that's great to hear. Thank you for stopping by and checking out the stream. For those of you again just coming over, I'll announce another time here that we are doing a giveaway for an Avenger Titan Star Citizen game package. Comes with a Skull Crusher pirate paint. If you are on Twitch, all you got to do is hit exclamation ticket to enter that giveaway. If you're on YouTube, just go to the link pinned to the top of chat. Go to that link. It's one of my videos, the Drake 4K remaster video. All you got to do is leave a comment on that video. It can be anything, it could be one word, it could be hello, and we will pick a winner from YouTube. We'll pick a winner from Twitch. We'll put you both in the wheel of names. We'll spin it, and then whoever wins that will win the game package. So, all right, couple more questions in. Let's get to these while we can here. Art, you can help me answer these. Salute to everybody coming in. Appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. We got a great crowd, by the way. 120 on Twitch and 105 on YouTube. Really, really great. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Questions. Here we go. Hustlebone says, okay, here's a question. Would you prefer one tier 1 med bed or 2 tier 2 med beds in the ships that got nerfed? So he's talking about in the Idris, the 890 jump. Would I prefer just a single tier 1 in there or 2 tier 2s? Art, I don't know what you think. I don't know actually. I guess for me it remains to be seen how effective or in what situation you would need multiple medical beds. I guess if you have a high respawn rate occurring or sort of a high, um, like a large number of people getting hurt, then it makes sense. Um, but I don't know. You're never sitting in a medical bed very long. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Um,
I mean,
I mean,
you're in a large org now, right? So what do you
yeah,
think? You've been doing
yeah.
okay, this is actually a good question for you. You've been doing operations, some large scale
We we
operations.
we have.
Do you want to shout out your org real quick? I don't know if you do or not.
Uh,
But go.
I mean, I suppose I can. So I am a member of the Lunar Wolves. Shout out to that organization. Um, we are a very, very large organization focusing on a whole bunch of aspects, PVE and PvP.
Hmm,
And not recently, but we're working on getting it back up and running again, as we're going to be running up to like 60 man ops for the orbital lasers and stuff like that. We do a lot of um, fleet specific things. Like I'm a member of the Raven Guard company that's inside this organization, and we focus more on the Navy side of things. So my bread and butter is the Polaris and everything else. Because
great ship.
I love my Dorito.
I do too.
Um, and I'll go down torpedoes blazing and everything else.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've ran into this situation before.
Okay.
Uh, with large casualties and stuff, especially on the OLPs. You get people that just to love to fly in, especially when you're getting right to that point where you're in the hole when you're mining, where people are going in and they drop a bomb on you, and you're like,
Hmm.
this it really sucks. But you have a
Yeah.
lot of people respawning now with this change of metagel and cost and stuff like that. Like we're not going to have to take a lot of that into to effect, especially since we can't craft the stuff.
Hmm.
So I think having those two tier two beds, uh, I honestly probably would take the two tier twos over the one tier one, because we don't have people going back with tier one injuries a lot. 9 times out of 10, until we get used to this whole possibility of understanding the new mechanics that are coming with this medical gel and stuff.
Yeah.
What's the one thing we all do? We backspace.
Hmm.
Anytime you get down and incapacitated, you backspace.
Yeah.
So once it hits and we get to that point where respawning is going to get um, more difficult to contemplate than just backspacing, and there's an additional cost to it. I would change my mind for the tier one.
Yeah.
Um, but as of right now, you know, uh, I think I would take the two tier two currently.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see that. Michael Phillips on YouTube says, cough, SJ org info, cough. Yeah, I know. I've been saying it a lot. It is coming. I promise it's coming. Um, it's all built. It's all ready. It's all good to go. Everything's all set for it. It's really just getting the sort of secondary sign up situation for it put together, which I'm working on now. More info on that. But yeah, it's a priority for me. It's a priority. It just got derailed a little bit. Ender is obviously part of the org and is been dealing with some stuff, so it's been hard to sort of regroup on any of that. We will though, don't worry. It is definitely a priority. Um, Socially Confused says, "Is Art a new Starjump member?" Art is an honorary Starjump member for sure because Art has helped Starjump out at events, has been there as a really supportive community member for for all kinds of stuff. So yes, when we do our digital Citizen Con watch party thing, Art will be one of the moderators helping get people from the waiting room into the main room and stuff along with me and any other buddy that wants to volunteer for it. So, yes, Art is an awesome dude. Got another question here. Question from Rabbit. Would you like to see medical beds in modular 32 SCU containers that could be attached to a cargo grid, something self-contained and have multiple resources to maintain. I'm going to answer this one first because I've talked about this numerous times on stream. I 100% think this should be a thing. I don't know if it should be 32 SCU cargo container size, but I do think we should be able to put maybe not tier 1 beds, but like tier 3 beds. I do think we should be able to put those on the cargo grid. So I think there should be a modular version of them that can go anywhere on a cargo grid that fits, a 4 SCU slot or whatever. And I do think it should pull power from our ship. So there is a negative hit to our ship because of it. I don't think it should be tier 1. I probably shouldn't be tier 2, but I could see that for tier 3. I would love to see people turn, for example, a C2 Hercules into a makeshift medical ship. You know what I mean? If needed. I think that'd be kind of cool. Art, any thoughts on that? Any big opinions on that?
No, I kind of agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I definitely think that I found myself more and more looking at ships and going, "This is what CIG wants me to do with it. What can I do
Right.
with it?"
Yeah. It's not
Um,
without precedent either. I mean, the US Navy has converted ships to medical ships in time of crisis before. Um, they did that during COVID, actually. So it does happen. Um, it happened in World War II a lot. So the precedent is there. Um, it makes sense to me. So it's really just figuring out what that negative balance is. What is the thing that makes it not overpowered? So, um, question from Cosmic Turtle: do you think we will get the Kraken reconcept at CitizenCon like we did the Pioneer last year? I don't know. I wish you had not said that though, Turtle, simply because now I'm gonna really want that. I'm gonna really want that now that you've said it. I would love to see where the Kraken has ended up. Um, you mean sort of a top-down sort of, layout plan of the Kraken? I think it's possible we could get that. It would definitely be a fun way for them to drum up excitement. Again, it's a 2-hour show. We did officially hear that there's no Squadron 42 information during the show. Um, so it'll be 2 hours focused on Star Citizen, and I do think that we could possibly get that for the Kraken. I'd be excited to see that. I really hope so. Damn it. Now I'm gonna be thinking about that. We do know that they've been working on that to some degree. I'm just not sure how far they've gotten and if it would be ready in time for CitizenCon. The flip side to that is that we could get a significant update on either the Pioneer or the Ironclads. We could get a bigger, sort of pull back the curtain on those 2 ships. Possible. Possible. Okay, another question. This one is from Lemming. Lemming asks, based off the changes to medical, does it really need a tier 1? I think no. So kind of going back to those medical changes to tier 1, tier 2. I mean, I think that it softens the need for a tier 1. And I think, Art, you were essentially saying that you would prefer the tier 2s. So I think that the trade-off between tier 1 and tier 2 is now not as dire as it once was years ago when tier 1 was the only way you could respawn.
yeah, I mean, until we get to a point where we're really looking at spawning across the system to
Yeah,
a particular ship, and I think that would be a really good benefit to have that on there because hey, if I need to throw a bunch of guys on my ship and they have their spawn set to that, and I head out across and I get to an area and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm getting jumped. I need gunners or I need this or I need that in the Idris.
yeah,
Then these guys could essentially backspace and come over. I'd be paying a hefty fee for that, but I think that would be a good benefit for a tier 1.
yeah,
Um, but you know, eh, very often that's at least currently that's not the case.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Um, Rabbit has a question. Will NPC crews require med beds to respawn? I hope so. If I had to guess, I think NPCs will follow all the same rules we do. I think they'll need the tier 1 beds to regenerate. I think for each of those different injuries, tier 3, tier 2, tier 1, they'll need the appropriate bed for that. So yes, I actually don't expect many changes for how NPCs interact with the medical system versus how players interact with the medical system. Um, so yeah. I do you agree with that, Art?
I would like to see the NPCs more, I guess, expendable.
Yeah,
I mean, if we could take them to a bed, great. But I think, you know, if somebody has a whole bunch of money and they're able to get those NPCs and fill them full, fill their ship full of NPCs, I'd rather just knock them out and be done with it
yeah,
versus having to worry about them respawning behind me.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. It'll be interesting to see, actually. I mean, again, I don't think we're gonna get the NPC stuff in ships till 1.0 if Richard Tyler sticks to his plan, but maybe they'll come earlier, but that's kind of what we currently know, right? Um, Wingsaber says if you could make a hybrid alien human manufacturer, much like Misk or Mirai, with any of the existing manufacturers, which would it be? For me, I'd love to see Drake and Tavarin mashed up. Um, that's a good question. Maybe I could see a world where, um, funny enough, I could actually see a world where Origin teams up with an alien manufacturer to sort of do something ultra elite and exotic. Not that we need more luxury ships, but I could see that. Um, I don't feel like it's appropriate for Anvil. Maybe I could be wrong. Um, yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. Or I could see. Yeah, it's tricky. It's
Mm.
tricky
I
with some of the human manufacturers being so human focused. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I really can't think of anything in particular that would
Yeah,
like scream at me. I mean, uh, what is it? Asperia maybe
yeah,
with maybe somebody like Aegis or Anvil. Maybe
yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, Dayron in chat says possibly Asperia with Anvil. Yeah, and that could be cool. That could be cool. I mean, Cosmic Turtle he also says Drake borrowing Van Dultec. I could definitely see Drake doing something like that. That could be kind of cool, sort of like almost a little bit of an illegal modification. That actually could be really neat. Um, one second, everybody. Okay. But um, yeah, that's a great question, though. That might be a good question for the info runners at some point. Let's ask them that on another show. I think that could be good. Um, gonna wind down here. Got one more question, everybody, as we start to wrap the night up here, and we got to get to our giveaway. Meathead Militia says, when do you think they'll increase the shard size? And what size would you like shards to end up at 1.0? Well, we did hear that from Benoit today saying they were messing or doing some testing on 800 player shards. Where do they need to be for where do they need to be for Star Citizen 1.0? I'm going to let you answer that one first, Art. You play with a large org. Where would you like to see it for shard size?
Um, I mean, it would depend on how they kind of handle everything else with like the NPC ships flying around and everything else because it gets kind of chaotic. I'd like to see 1,000, but also I know that free fly event we just had, it was incredibly frustrating at all these stations
Yeah,
waiting queue times for hangars. And I think 1,000 is going to be awful.
Well,
Um,
that's my thing, is it's not even a performance issue, it's a gameplay issue. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Just waiting for hangars. We get 20, 30, 40 guys together to go run something, and we're taking out 10 or 12 ships. We have to then get in like 30 minutes before operation time just to get all the ships out for everybody else to get on them.
Yeah. It the that the problematic issues surrounding that possibly will be mitigated a bit with more systems, more landing zones, more point of interest, player bases to where we can land our ships at our own bases and not all be choke pointed to space stations and landing zones. That actually might be the secret sauce that we're not getting yet. We don't have player bases, which I think is ultimately where people are going to land, especially orgs in the future. Um, so for example, I could see orgs, much like your org that you're in now, Art. I could see an org like that having a large base in the Stanton system, a large base in the Pyro system, where if and when you're operating in those systems and you need a safe place to go land your ship, refuel, rearm, repair, all that good stuff, you would go to that base in that system. Or maybe they have 5 bases in that system. Who knows? Maybe they have a space station. Again, that problem, those choke points that currently exist with the 600 player shards, hopefully will be mitigated with more POIs. Sketo, thank you for that follow. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. It's time to do what we do best. It's time to do some giveaways here. Who wants to do a giveaway? Let me get my stuff up here. Bear with me. Art, while we're doing that, how have you been? Have you been enjoying the content stuff over the last year, the content driven gameplay?
Yeah, I like the improvements and stuff. I think one thing that I think CIG turned the dial up a little bit too much for was some of those NPC stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You try to you
Yeah.
go to an Onyx facility by yourself, unless you're really paying attention, you'll regret it. Or I actually I think the PLAFs and the OLP are way worse.
Yeah.
I landed actually out one today, was just looting some stuff, and took my Starlancer tack down for a respawn point because I knew I was going to need it,
Yeah.
and opened the doors up, and there's probably 30, 40 guys running at me, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I what do you even do in this situation?
It just
But
gets overwhelming and it gets out
yeah,
of hand. And then it starts to feel, and one of the big negatives to that is it starts to feel like a game then. You know what I mean? It's really
yeah,
starts to feel like a video game. It sort of takes you out of the fantasy world that you're in. I do hope they solve that. I remember when we were first doing 2 or 3 patches back, me and BMXEO went into like the ASD facility and it was just overwhelming, like overwhelming the amount of enemies that were coming. So, um, Shylock 1077 roadmap, Nyx is still next, correct? Yeah, probably Nyx still coming. As a matter of fact, I think at CitizenCon, they're going to tell us Nyx is coming to the PTU very soon, possibly even the beginning of next year or something. I do think Nyx is really close. There are Nyx and Levski files in the game files right now for the new Nyx and the new Levski. They have been found by people. They're just hidden. Not that doesn't mean they're done, but it's just saying that the stuff is existing there. CIG's obviously been working on it, so I think it's possible we could see Nyx this year. More possible we could see it early next year. So, all right, everyone, going to switch over. We're going to do this giveaway for the Aegis Avenger Titan with Skull Crusher paint and Star Citizen game package, courtesy of CIG. Big thanks to CIG for sending that my way. First thing we're going to do is choose our Twitch winner, not Twitch winter, Twitch winner. Then we're going to choose our YouTube winner. And then we're going to put both of your names in the wheel of names and we're going to draw a winner. The winner of that wins the game package. You will have to get in contact with me on Discord if you win. So if you do win, you need to reach out to me on Discord. Okay. I will then confirm you and you will get the starter pack. Okay. Um, If you want to get on the giveaway, you have to do it now. Exclamation ticket on Twitch. And then on YouTube, I have a link pinned to the top of the chat. You're going to go to that link. You are going to leave a comment on that video, and then I will pull a random comment. Okay. Now on Twitch, you have another 10 seconds to leave or to buy your tickets. Another 10 seconds to buy your tickets. We have the wheel of names up here. We're going to move these names and we're going to start nice and fresh. Okay. So first thing, we're starting with the stream elements names. We're going to do that now. This is our people on Twitch. Good luck. We're going to go ahead and close the giveaway in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 87 tickets purchased. Here we go. We're drawing a winner. Good luck. Remember, this does not win you the package. This just gets you in the final drawing, which we're going to do in a minute. And the winner is... Did it choose one? Who did it say? Daftol, you in chat? Daftol, are you in chat? There he is. Daftol is in chat. You just got added to the wheel of name. Congratulations. We're going to grab the next one now. This is for the YouTube. The YouTube, it's obviously rigged. Obviously, Citizen Joel is very rigged. We're going to go to the YouTube video now. We have chosen that video that you were all leaving comments on. We have selected the start time of tonight's stream, which was September 11th. Stream started at, let's see here, 9 p.m. Okay, and actually, did it do that? Why did it do 41? Why is it not doing, you know what, we'll choose 9:01 because I didn't start it till then. Okay, so there we go, 9:01. Here we go, everybody. Good luck. Gonna pull the winner from here. Doing a random comment pick now. So we'll only pick for comments here. There we go. Serena, let me get this name right. Serene Caldera 936. Congratulations on that. Hopefully you're still in chat. I'm gonna throw your name in there as well. Serena, are you in chat? Serena, let me know if you are in chat. Hopefully you are. Oops, let me check something real quick here, everybody. Serene, gonna give you just a moment. Gonna give you just a moment. Oh, there they are. There they are. McKee. There you go. Congratulations. You are on the wheel of names. Here we go, everybody. We're going to spin the wheel. Remember, whichever one of you wins, you need to reach out to me on Discord. Go to the Starjump Discord channel. Make sure, or sorry, Discord, accept the rules. You got to accept the rules and contact me and we'll get you squared away. Okay. Here we go. We're going to do it in 3, 2, 1. The spin has happened. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. I will award this in just a little bit tonight. And there we go. Serene Callender, McKee. Congratulations. McGee, I just need you to contact me via Discord. If you could, please, Starjump Grim on Discord. Make sure you reach out to me and I will get you set up. You can also contact me through the Gmail, but I will be confirming you, okay, to confirm that it's actually you. So congratulations on that. Big thanks to CIG, by the way, for doing that giveaway. Hopefully a lot more giveaways to come in the future. Art, it's been awesome hanging out with you, man. It's always awesome. It's always awesome hanging out with you.
Thanks for the opportunity to come on and share thoughts and opinions. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, what we're going to do here, everybody, is we're going to raid somebody, smaller streamer, but actually not a smaller streamer. They've got some viewers, but I think they just started streaming. So we're going to send you all over there. I think I know this person, actually. I do think I know this person. So I'm being a little bit of an idiot. We're going to send you over to, and I want you to give them some Starjump love when you go over there. I'm going to send you over to Granny Q. Make sure you give Granny Q a little bit of love. She's playing some Star Citizen tonight. Sending you over there. Have a great time. It's been wonderful hanging out with you tonight. Salute to you. Thanks for all the follows and support and subscriptions. I really appreciate it. Meathead Militia says, Granny, she is the best cookies and brownies. Awesome. Everyone, give her some Starjump love. I know I will. Talk to you all later. Have a great night. I'm going to go ahead and get the raid ready to go. Everyone, buckle your seatbelts. Guardian, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. Everyone, go check out Guardian's channel. Here we go, everybody. Sending you to Granny right now. Have a great night.